Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man series Sandman Wave 2099 Spider-Man, which I have to say is one of my favorite designs for Spider-Man. I just love it, and I was really looking forward to this figure, and for the most part, it delivers. There are a couple things we need to talk about for sure, but all in all, it's a very cool figure, and I'm very happy to have it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just shy of 6.5 inches, which makes him just about 16.5 centimeters. And it's worth noting that the white parts on him, for the most part, are molded in white, so they're all very uniform and they look very nice. The red parts are painted metallic red, and for the most part, they're painted very well. It's a nice metallic color, and it's fairly clean. These guys that are molded separately and glued in, they're not metallic. I don't know if they're supposed to be. You guys know I'm not that into the comics, especially Spider-Man comics. I just haven't gotten into them. Are those supposed to be metallic? I'm assuming they are, and they're not, so that's a bit of a bummer, but it's still cool that they're there, and they look pretty nice. This one's glued on very crookedly. I don't know how to word that. Yeah, crookedly. I can probably fix that, but I shouldn't have to, so that's a bit of a bummer. The rest of the paint job's pretty good. I mean, it could be cleaner. You can see some issues down here. You can see some red bleeding and a little bit of speckling for the white, but mostly it's really nice. The little blue bits are painted on cleanly. This ribcage area looks pretty good also. All in all, I'm very happy with it. He doesn't have sloppy eyes, and that's a big deal, so mostly really nice paint job. And this is a new mold, so that's also a really good thing. I want to point out, one thing I love about this mold is the legs. The sculpting is very organic looking, and the ankles are not exceptionally thick. We've seen a lot of that lately, not so much on Spider-Man figures, but for the most part, I like this a lot. I don't like that we have this extra chunk back here for the heel, but that's not that big of a deal. He's a little floppy here, but we'll get to that. Actually, let's get to it now. Let's talk about the articulation. For the head, we can go all the way back, which works really nicely, and go all the way forward, and it is on a ball peg also, so you can get a little bit of rocking, and you can obviously rotate it around. Does it sit too high on the neck? Maybe just a tiny bit, but for Spider-Man, he's got those kind of exaggerated proportions anyway, so he can definitely get away with it, and there's no huge gapping or anything, so it's fine for this guy. Now here's one thing that bugs me a little bit about him. I'm starting to have less of an issue with it the more I look at the figure, but it is an issue. The chest, the way the pecs kind of insert down into the armpit area, because technically, you know, in real life, the pecs go all the way around over by the bicep. They lose their thickness right here a lot, which does look a little weird. It makes his chest look kind of strange, but that is partly due to the fact that he has a really, really nice butterfly joint, which works exceptionally well. I really like the butterfly joint a whole lot. I just do wish they kind of tweaked the sculpt a little bit, because it makes his pecs look really flat. It's a little bit strange, but it's not a big deal at all. For the shoulders, a standard ball hinge on top of that butterfly. It looks like you're not going to be able to do it, but if you kind of pull a little bit and push a little bit, you can raise the arms up no problem at all. So I am perfectly okay with that. So it's a standard ball hinge, full functionality on top of a really nice butterfly. That's pretty great. We have a bicep swivel, which works no problem. Double jointed elbow, which works no problem. And of course we have our wrist swivel, and we have a hinge. Hinge is a little stiff, but it is in there. No alternate hands for this guy. Would have been nice, but I guess it's okay since he's got a new sculpt. Now for the ab crunch, it leans pretty far forward and it snaps into place, so that's okay. It's not bad sculpt-wise. It leans really far back. Still a little bit bulbous. Looks a little bit pregnant. The trick to a good ab crunch is to make sure this piece, the part that goes inside the top part of the chest, is basically circular. You want it to be circular, and you want this part down here to be circular, so that as you rotate it, it's constantly flush. This sticks out a whole bunch. It's not great, but don't lean them back all the way. It won't be that much of an issue. They did continue the paint though, so that's okay. It is floppy in between the catches, but the catches are there, so I guess that's all right. We have a waist twist, which works just fine. We have really nice looking hips, and I don't remember how they function, so let's see. This is going to be exciting for both of us because they look great. Let's see. They should go forward. They do go forward pretty well. They do come off at just a bit of an angle, but nothing too bad. Let's see how they go out to this side. Not quite even 45. That's I really wish they could figure that out. Go back to the old ball hinges if you have to, but not being able to bring his legs out to the side is a bummer for Spider-Man. Thigh swivel is no problem, of course. Double jointed knees, again, no problem. That's standard by now. We do have a shin swivel, which if you want it, fine. It looks good, so no complaints from me. Sometimes we've had really ugly ones that don't line up. These do, so it's there. If you like it, good. If you don't like it, don't use it. And then we have a really nice ankle hinge that goes fairly far forward, so that's good. And then it should go really far back. It does. Now, you don't need to have this extra chunk of plastic here to afford that range, but when you do go back, it does kind of disappear, so I guess that's okay. And then lastly, we have an ankle rocker. It's fairly severely angled, but with that shin swivel, as ugly as it is to rotate the shin, you can use the ankle rocker effectively, so I guess that's okay. So all in all, we have a couple of small issues here and there, but this guy is a pretty fantastic Spider-Man 2099 figure. I'm very happy to have it. I do wish it was some of those things were addressed, like the hips and kind of the chest sculpt. You know what it is too? This part's really wide here, and it looks wider than the pecs, and that's why it throws off the look a little bit. But ultimately, it's not that big of a deal. So I like it. I think you guys will too, and I think you should probably add him to your Spider-Man collection because it's a really cool, unique design, and he's going to be fun to have on your shelf. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Make sure you turn on notifications. Click that little bell thing next to the subscribe button. Check mark, and then you're set. You will get notifications of all the new videos. You'll want to do that, so make sure you do, and in the meantime, keep collecting.